Who likes to go to grandma's house? Do you remember when you were a kid and grandma would take extra time with you? Maybe let you make some cookies, or maybe she made your favorite pie or cake. We all loved going to grandma's house. Well, one day, there is a story that says one day all the grandkids went to grandma and grandpa's house. They were playing and having a great time, and eventually grandpa got kind of tired and he lay down on a couch for a nap. Well, the grandkids got this especially fun idea, and they decided to put Limburger cheese into his mustache. Well, what do you think happened when he woke up? He started smelling around the room and he's thinking, something in here really smells. He got up and went to the kitchen and he looked around there, kind of opened the trash can and closed it, and he thought, something in here is stinking too. So he's like, I know what I'll do. I'll just go outside for a little bit of fresh air. But when he got outside, it smelled out there too. The moral of the story is if you have a little Limburg cheese in your mustache, everything is going to smell. John Maxwell says in The Winning Attitude, he says that it's hard to soar like an eagle if you live among the turkeys. I'm going to give you 3 things on attitude, and I want you to think about this. Does this describe me? Or you might be thinking, this describes my spouse. And this is why we have a lot of trouble. Does this describe you, though? This is what you're looking at today. First of all, a winning attitude determines your approach. Your attitude determines your approach on everything you do. Do you find that you tend to criticize, or do you compliment? Do you expect the best, or do you expect the worst? Whenever your spouse comes in from work, maybe they're asking a question about something or they're telling you something about their day, do you assume the best or do you assume the worst? I did a blog at one point on assumptions, or I think it was a webinar. And assumptions often get couples in trouble because however they are thinking that day, that's how they assume their spouse is asking the question or telling whatever story. We assume the other person is thinking the same way that we do. So assumptions often get us in trouble. The second thing is your attitude just determines your relationship with people. Your attitude determines your relationship with your spouse. And yes, sometimes your spouse can have stinking thinking and you have a little trouble getting past that. But your attitude determines your success, not only with your spouse, but out in life. The Stanford Institute of Research did some research on this, and they said the amount of money that you make, did I get your attention? The amount of money that you make is determined on how well you relate with people, your relationship with people. Can you believe that? What they said was just over 12% of how much money, the success you have making money, just over 12% of that goes to knowledge, what you know. And the other, just under 87%, goes to how well you understand and work with people. Do you see a great value in understanding how to work with people? It makes a difference in how much money you make and how well you deal with your spouse and how well you do at work. The last thing is, often our attitude is the only difference between success and failure. Often your attitude is the only difference between success and failure. And that means at home with your spouse, what kind of attitude do you have? At work with the people at work, what kind of attitude do you have? And even with your friends, are you a great friend? Are you a great spouse? Are you a great person at work? Do people like to be around you? Do you like to be around people? What's your attitude? You can find free 5-day challenges, webinars, and all kinds of great stuff on my website. Thanks.